Welcome back to the Beverly Casa, but today we're embracing the holidays. Adam Saxton and Dan Murphy are opening the doors to their beautifully renovated home in Dallas, Texas, just in time for Christmas. 3 years ago, Adam and Dan embarked on a major design and build journey to restore and expand their classic 1920s home. Inside, you'll see how they thoughtfully preserved the original character and history of the house, while elevating it with refined yet playful decor. Their holiday styling is timeless and deeply personal, layered with family collections like Baccarat Christmas trees and Ralph Lauren ornaments, and sprinkled with nods to menswear and classic patterns like tartan. It all comes together to create a warm, elegant, and beautifully festive home for the season. To watch Adam and Dan's full home tour ad-free, scan the QR code on screen or visit homeworthyplus.com for access to all of our latest episodes ad-free and to receive other exclusive membership perks.
Hi, Homeworthy.
Welcome to Christmas at the Beverly Casa.
My name is Adam.
I'm Dan, and this is our son Asher, who was born on Christmas Eve last year.
Why don't you come on in and let's show you around what we have up for Christmas. My name is Adam Saxton, and I am a restaurant franchisee. I own a company with my father and brother called the Saxton Group, and we own McAllister's Deli and Jagger's restaurants in Texas and Oklahoma. So I've always been in the restaurant business.
And my name is Dan Murphy. I work in banking at BMO, the Bank of Montreal, and I run a national corporate finance team.
Welcome back to the Beverly Casa. We're so excited to have you here for Christmas and show you our decor. Our house was built in 1929 in Highland Park, Texas, and we bought it about, 4 years ago, is that right?
Yeah, about Christmas time 2021.
And we were not looking to do a renovation, a restoration. We just kind of looked at this house randomly. We were definitely interested in the neighborhood and loved the trees and the beautiful street, but we're not seeking out a renovation project. We saw the house, we sort of instantly kind of fell in love with it and wanted to take it on. We were inspired by what it was, and we could see that it could be added on to and kind of revitalized to bring it up to date for our family to enjoy for hopefully a long time, just like families have here for many years.
Yeah, we weren't even really looking to move when we found the place. It just casually started to see a couple houses with a realtor, and as Adam said, the location and everything about the property seemed perfect, and we didn't even know if the renovation would work for what we wanted to do before we had proceeded with buying the house. So we kind of ran by the seat of our pants as we figured it out, and we're happy with how it turned out.
We took it step by step and just kind of figured it out as we went. Yep. Welcome to the entryway. This is the first room that guests see when they come into our house, and we usually use this table here. Is a Ralph Lauren table. It's actually an old table. We didn't buy it. It was my mom's. And we use that to kind of set up different seasonal decor. Those red votives we switch out at the holidays from the clear ones to the red ones. Those flowers there are actually just left over from Dan's 40th birthday party was a couple weeks ago. So those are kind of still hanging in there. And we kept it really simple on the stairway with garland. This garland is artificial. Everybody loves the way it looks. It's from a floral garland, and it just looks really natural and easy. And we added a plaid tartan bow here at the end with some chocolate brown velvet ribbon, again to kind of bring in a little bit of a masculine touch.
And this room is really one of the only spots in the house where there was, other than freshening the walls, no changes. The stairwell has been like this for 100 years, and this structure, so it's a nice kind of nod back to the origins of the house.
Yeah, one of the cool things about the front part of our house where some of these formal spaces are is that's the original house. That's the house that was built in 1929. That's where the dining room is, the gallery, the entryway, some of the spaces that would have been around in 1929. And then in the back of the house where we added on were open kitchen and family room concept is. Those are things that are modern conveniences that we were able to add and kind of blend the old and the new here in this pretty old house.
So before we get into the dining room, quick stop in the lower gallery here. So this table in front is often a centerpiece, given you could see it from the outside and down this hallway. And so we decorated this for Christmas with a red and green floral arrangements, and really tried to do something different than just the classic poinsettias or something for Christmas. So stuck with the holiday theme. But again, this is something from Nolan with Bottega de Flores, who did for us a week or two ago. And every time I walk by it, I feel like it looks like a state of Texas shape unintentionally. And I don't think it was intended that way, but a good nod to where we are here in Texas.
We like to keep Christmas really classic, but it is fun in this area to do something a little bit different. And like Dan said, we changed this out with the seasons so people can enjoy it from the inside and the outside. It's just, I say he's not really a florist, he's more like a sculptor. And these are just great to look at all year round. We have an 80-year-old oak tree in our front yard that is wrapped with hundreds and hundreds of strands of twinkling white lights. We're really lucky. One of the fun things about living on Beverly Drive in Highland Park is that the carriage rides go by at Christmas time. So lots of neighbors really decorate and do it big. So all the people who are out trying to enjoy the season, trying to enjoy the lights, enjoy the neighborhood, can have something pretty to look at. So we really wrap that tree to its fullest and are trying to showcase it to the best of our ability.
Last year, so the first year we were here for Christmas, we had the lights outside done before Halloween. And the plan was, you had to just get on a schedule for the outdoor Christmas lighting. Plan was kind of get them up, not wait until Thanksgiving to light them. And Halloween is really big and popular around here too. And so as it got darker, we decided to turn the tree on that night. And we knew the tree was a spectacle, but it was more of a spectacle than I think we even expected that night.
It was like a trick-or-treater magnet. And so the lights have been on really ever since then.
Yeah. And so now it's one of those things that we know we can't go back. We have to light that tree every year. And I was saying maybe we'll even go a little bit higher, another extra branch, and keep it going. But it's pretty much limb to limb lit.
It's technically our third Christmas in the house, but it really feels in a lot of ways like the first. The first year we basically moved in at Christmas time. We moved in the week of Christmas. So that was pure chaos. The second year, last year, we were really excited. We had it all decorated. It was beautiful. It looks just like it does now. And we were excited to spend what was going to be our first Christmas in our home. And our baby son, our baby boy Asher, decided to come a few weeks early, and he was actually born on Christmas Eve last year, so we were not home on Christmas. We were in the hospital. Santa Claus came to the hospital with the older boys, and so life had other plans. So hopefully this year we'll actually be here on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day to enjoy the decor. We have 3 Christmas trees. One of them is really a classic Christmas tree filled with lots of vintage ornaments that we love and have collected. The one here in this room in the library is some Ralph Lauren ornaments that we have collected that go along with the decor here. And then we have another tree in the dining room, and that one has some silver and crystal ornaments that go with our Christoffel silver and Baccarat collection. So that's kind of how we started.
Beyond that, so we did wreaths on all of the windows outside. That was one of those things that I always loved in houses where you have kind of the uniform windows and wreaths up on those. So we have those in the front of the house. We collect the Baccarat Christmas trees, so we have a table full of those. We're running out of space where those are, so might have to think about what to do in the future as they keep making more of those every year.
We also have several places in the house that you'll see where we have these floral installations that we change out with every season. And so we work with a friend of ours and a florist and sculptor really named Nolan. His company is called Bottega de Flores, and he creates these seasonal floral pieces for us that you also see throughout our home and that we're always happy to showcase and change out with every season. Welcome back to our dining room where we have it set up for Christmas. So let us show you around a little bit. Starting here, we love to display this collection of Christoffel silver on this Ralph Lauren bar cart. This was actually kind of a last minute addition to our house. We saw this bar cart at a Ralph Lauren store and did not have anything planned for this part of our dining room. And as soon as we saw it, we knew it would be a great place to display our silver collection, and now that it's here, I can't imagine really having anything else here.
The first Christmas tree of the show, I guess, the one here in the dining room. We only had one Christmas tree in our old house, so we were excited to be able to have some more space to add a couple more. So we did this kind of tall, slender tree here in the front window. And this one we decorate with kind of various silver and crystal ornaments. And I grew up, my aunt, who's my godmother, gave me a crystal Waterford ornament every year for Christmas. And so we exchanged those. And so there's a number of those from growing up. And then we've added a bunch to the tree over the years between the two of us.
Yeah, it's fun to have the crystal lighting in the room on the sconces over there and on the table, and then pair that with the tree. Same with the silver, our silver collection. Then we give a nod to that with the ornaments on the tree. Let's talk about the dining room table where everybody loves to gather at the holidays. This table was made for us in Indiana by a company called Keith Fritz Furniture. It's all handmade in America. Lots of our furniture that we chose was made in the United States, and that's something that we're really proud of. And in the center of the table is really the perfect place to display this collection of annual Baccarat trees. We've gotten them every year since we got married, and then found this is an antique silver piece that we keep in the middle of our dining room table year round, but then at Christmas it's really just the perfect place to have the light and mirror reflect with these beautiful crystal trees.
Let's see, over here in the above the buffet, we've always had these wall sconces on the walls, but at Christmas we change out the shade from a white to red to just keep a little additional subtle nod to the Christmas decor. And as you can see, we're getting ready to set the table so we can put one of the place settings down as we get ready to celebrate Christmas here.
Yeah, we can show you one of our place settings for how we set up the table for a holiday meal, starting with the placemat,
Serving tray next.
Dinner plate,
Super salad bowl, and then the bread plate.
All right, Dan, what side am I supposed to put the silverware on?
Forks go on the left.
Forks go on the left.
On top of the napkin first.
Okay.
Small one on the outside.
Small one on the outside, big one on the inside. And
Bread
then,
knife goes with the bread plate.
excellent.
Knife and spoons on the right side.
Knife on the outside?
That's a great question. Let's put it on the inside.
Okay. Someone will correct us.
Yeah. Small spoon on the outside. And grab the glass.
Some glassware.
Okay. Now we're set. And so we can seat 10 at the table here. It gets cozy when you fill it out with 10, but I think that's half the fun, to be able to be in the formal dining room and celebrating together. Welcome into the kitchen. So here, a little more kind of limited in what we did in terms of decor in the kitchen, but this wreath is one of our favorites. You know, it's almost a bit of a fall/Christmas wreath. It was from the florist who did our wedding, Kehoe out of Chicago. So they did a holiday wreaths a couple years back that we had made and shipped out here, and it's a nice little touch that reminds us not only the holidays, but of our wedding too.
Yeah, one of the things with stuff in our house and with decor in general, especially at the holidays, it's fun to have things that remind you of other times. So being able to bring out that wreath that we know was made by the florist for our wedding and hang it up at Christmas time reminds us of that. Like collecting the annual trees every year or buying a Christmas ornament, it's really fun to have these little traditions. So each holiday that goes by, you can remember past holidays and past good times with friends and family. Speaking of friends and family, especially kids, we like to do a lot of baking at the holidays, so we're set up to do a little bit of that here. These are things we like to use year-round in our kitchen, but especially at the holidays, so I'll point a couple of them out. We store sugar, flour, salt, all of our stuff in our pantry in these glass jars with walnut lids that match the walnut cabinetry on our kitchen island. And then these custom walnut boards were made for us in Michigan by Jose Reguero Studios, and they have a custom slot where they slide in and out of right here when we want to pull one out to use them.
We got a lot of opinions in the house on sprinkles and which ones are good and which ones are bad. So we haven't used these yet. We'll report back in a couple days if the cookies were good with the sprinkles or we need to find a new one next time.
Definitely the most utilized spot in our house is the kitchen island. It's huge. Everybody comments on the size of it. It was one of the first things we told our architect is we wanted a really big island. We wanted to completely be able to sit around it, our whole family, so we can seat 6 at our island, 2 on the end and then 4 down this side. And whether it be meals or holiday baking or entertaining or
Homework
or late nights at parties, or you name the time, this is basically where everybody ends up. And much like the table in our front entry, this is another spot where we like to change up and do seasonal floral decorations. We put these in yesterday, these red berry branches. Nolan came and did these, and it's always a great spot to bring in kind of something fresh and natural. We usually do fresh flowers in this vase or some kind of fresh branch or something, and bring in something real and living for the Christmas season. And I love these. I hope these will last the whole season.
Even Asher's got a high chair that clips onto the island so he can join us for meals at the island when we're not at the table, and he enjoys that. It gives him a little extra distance to throw food to the floor, so he thinks the island's fun too.
I'd say when we were designing our house, and the last time Homeworthy came in, we really focused on the design of our kitchen and the marble that we chose. And we still love it. We love this marble that we chose for our kitchen and really pulled the color palette for a lot of the downstairs in our house out of this marble from our kitchen. The island is soapstone, which kind of in keeping with the theme I was saying earlier, this is a spot that gets used all the time. We found to be incredibly durable. It's a great surface. We'd never had soapstone counters in a house before, but after having them here, I would definitely recommend them. We like to keep our Christmas decor really classic. I always tell people that my personal opinion is that Christmas is not the time to try to be really cool. So it's just our classic idea of what the holidays look like. Red and green, garland, vintage ornaments, lots of lights. We try to keep things really classic. We don't reinvent the wheel. I don't think that we have anything that is too, outside the box or trying to be modern or anything too unusual. There's a few areas where we've taken Christmas, particularly with some of the florals, and put a little twist on it, and that's fun to do. But in general, keep things pretty classic.
Yeah, stuck with the white lights outside and on the couple smaller trees in the house, and the tree behind me, I don't know if you could see it in the other room, has colored lights, and that more fits the style on that one. We always stock the candy bowl and the wet bar.
We just did that at Target this week.
Yeah, we did it a couple nights ago, and there's not usually candy sitting out in the house, but you got a couple months where it's nice. You can walk by and grab yourself a Christmas tree, Reese's or something like that. So
yeah, it's candy season. It kind of rolls straight from Halloween all the way through Christmas. There's candy available that we can steal from our kids.
Making our way into the family room now, this is really becomes the epicenter for Christmas. This is where in a few days the presents will start to gather around the trees, and Christmas morning Santa will make his deliveries and the stockings will get stuffed. So this is where we'll all come down Christmas morning to have that first bit of celebration on the day together. So it's a lot of the goal here was to keep it still homey and have that holiday decor. And I think the tree in this room in particular has a little bit of that kind of vintage classic style to it. And all these ornaments, it has less of a theme than the ornaments in the other room. It's a little bit of ones that have come over the years and we collect. We often try when we go on vacation, for example, to get an ornament where we go, and it helps us remember the place. There's pictures of the boys from football camp is one I can see right now, and college ornaments, and a little bit of that just collection of things that make you smile and we all like and get to look back on each year. And it's always fun, especially when they first come out, because it's easy when they're all up here and then you forget in January, February, and the rest of the year what all the ornaments were. But then you see the champagne bottle or the potato and all the little touches that are a fun little surprise each year.
One of the things we love about this artificial tree that we have is actually when you take all of the ornaments off of it, it kind of looks like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It kind of looks kind of sad and twiggy, but that's really exactly the design. That's what we wanted, because it leaves all this space to just pile in the ornaments. And that's what you've seen that, that we've had done here, is there's just ornaments really in every nook and cranny. Another thing that makes this lots of fun, and I think gives it more dimension and texture, is there's 3 different types of Christmas lights on here. There's the normal white twinkling lights that come on the pre-lit tree, and then there's these vintage bubble lights. My mom always had these on our trees growing up, and so they're getting harder and harder to find. Some of them really don't bubble anymore, but we're going to keep up the bubble light tradition as long as we can source them. And then the third type of lights are the big colored glass, kind of vintage glass bulbs. And so when you combine that with a big pile of all these kind of vintage looking collected family ornaments, really deep into the tree, both on the, some people that you just hang ornaments on the outside, but if you hang them inside the tree and stuff things in the tree and just keep putting it on, then this is how we achieve this kind of really full, eclectic look that everybody thinks is lots of fun, and we really like it.
Above the fireplace, then here we have all the stockings hung and the garland. Everybody's got their stocking, even the dogs, Champ and Troy on the ends, and Asher's ready. Given he was here on Christmas Eve last year, we weren't ready for him to have a stocking, so he didn't get to participate in Christmas as one would expect on your very first, so we'll view this really as his first Christmas. And one of my favorite things with the stockings, these little stocking holders, I guess you call them, we found those at Target last year, and they're awesome. Like, they work great, they're heavy. It was one of those lucky finds, you weren't even looking for something, and I think we had to go to 4 Targets to get enough of them, because we saw them maybe December 20th or something, and it's sometimes those things that you're not even looking for that work out perfect.
Yeah, those are Studio McGee for Target, and don't sleep on a seasonal drop at Target. They'll let some good stuff out there. Again, this is artificial garland, but with pine cones on this one, and we intentionally did this asymmetrically, again, to try to have classic with just a tiny little bit of a twist. So it intentionally kind of swags more and hangs down on that side of the mantle and is a little bit off-centered, which actually works well because then the tree here provides balance on this side of the room. And in the center of our coffee table, we have the reason for the season. We have a nativity scene. This was also something that was in my family growing up, and that now we're really happy to have in our home and to share the memory. I always remember seeing that out at Christmas time. I always remember my mom had that wrapped up in a special place, and you'd be real careful bringing it out, thinking it was fragile and old and breakable, because it is. And now we're happy to share that tradition with our kids.
So on the tree, lots of great ornaments. We just picked up a couple of our favorites. This was one of my favorite we got this year. This was Asher's annual ornament in the family trip we did for the boys to get an ornament. And we figured a passport was perfect for him, because the one thing that he's had to do since he was born was go with the flow and keep moving on things. And his first vacation was international at 3 months old, and so his older brothers, they joked once, the first time they left the United States, they were 10, and they told me, they said, Asher can't go on vacation internationally until he's 10. And I said, that's fine, but remember, that means if he can't come, we all can't go, and so you're gonna be 20 next trip. They very quickly decided that was a bad idea, and Asher should go as soon as possible. So we all love traveling as a family, and so it's one of my favorite.
I pulled off this ornament. This is a little miniature glass of McAllister's Deli sweet tea. This is the signature product at the restaurant chain that we own. And I've been doing McAllister's Deli for over 20 years, so a really long time with the brand. And for almost that whole time, they've been making these little glasses of tea. And anyone who's in the restaurant industry knows that brands change over time and menu comes and goes, and there's very few kind of original menu items and things that the brand has been doing for a really long time that are still around, but this is one of them, and it just reminds me of all my years, bringing McAllister's Deli to many towns across Texas.
It's not the holidays without a bar, so as we make our way into the library, we'll pit stop here, and as I mentioned before, this is where we have our holiday candy dish set out. So You'll see it's full today. I bet if you come back in 2 or 3 days, it will be not anywhere near that anymore.
Yeah, and this is where we entertain and mix drinks and serve up all the good libations during the holidays. Even the wallpaper sort of matches the vibe. This is Fornacetti that I think is called Cocktails is the name of this pattern. So saw this, really didn't have to think too much about it. Saw a wallpaper called Cocktails that was the right color palette for the bar, and here it is. It's lots of fun. And then we keep behind these glass doors all of our glassware, cocktail glasses, and different glasses to serve for entertaining. We have multiple different types of wine glasses for Pinot Noir, Cabernet, Sauvignon Blanc, and of course our favorite, champagne. And normally this is way more stocked up. This is where we keep our champagne, but Dan had a birthday party recently, a big 40 birthday party, and we cleared out the champagne stock. So we'll have to restock that for the holidays.
Time for some replenishment.
Yeah. Now that everybody has a drink, a great place to come is into the library, which really of all the rooms of our house, I feel like this room was just made for Christmas. It's already such a cozy, warm vibe. This is one of the rooms in our house that is in the original form since 1929. Everything from the bay window in front to the shape of the room, all of this, the windows on this side, these are all the same configuration that it's always been. We added this wall of shelving and custom built-in bookcases to actually turn it into a library, but we use this as kind of a multi-use space. We have a desk in the front for work. We hang out in here with drinks and entertain. It really serves as like a hybrid library, office, formal living room for us.
The darker colors between both the walls and the wood ceiling gives it that cozy vibe, and it's a nice room, especially as it gets colder outside, to put the fire on, and given the small space too, it warms up nicely and makes it really cozy. And this room, the furniture, the majority of it is from Ralph Lauren, and so we stuck with that theme when we got to Christmas decorations. So the ornaments on the tree in front of the window are all from Ralph Lauren. Every year they do some of their polar bear ornaments as well as some glass ornaments, and then stuck with, as you'll see on the chandelier here, the plaid theme that those are Ralph Lauren shades as well. That's
kind of really one of our favorite holiday hacks, and we've done it a couple places, is to just swap out the light shades at the holiday time. Normally this fixture doesn't have shades on it, so we put these on for the holiday, and again, it just kind of brings that warm Christmas spirit, and put a little bit of greenery up there. So when decorating for the holidays, don't forget about your light fixtures. They might provide another surface to do something with.
And we really kept with the plaid and that Ralph Lauren theme throughout this room. So you'll see the bow on the top of the tree, the light shades here, and on top of the mantle of the fireplace, same idea as well. So there's plaid bows and plaid ornaments decorating there, and really kept it a little bit more of a, I would call a muted theme than you might, unlike the tree in the family room with the colorful ornaments and the bright lights. Kept the white lights in this room and kind of went with that classic preppy style.
Yeah, the navy and red plaid looks really good with the room. Is painted Benjamin Moore, Hell Navy. Everybody always asks, so that's the color of this blue, which is really kind of, I think, the perfect navy color. And it looks great with the ceiling. We put in this custom walnut ceiling, all custom walnut millwork that's stained and really brings that warmth look to the library. Picks up again the double doors, and again the walnut throughout the downstairs of our house is the wood color that we chose.
A couple nutcrackers on the fireplace, and that's probably reminds me, one things we are always looking for is we love some tall nutcrackers out front, but just haven't found the right one. So one of these Christmases we'll walk into a store and see the ones that are perfect, but in the meantime, this is our annual reminder that we got a couple in the house, and we'll find those for the front porch one day.
Yeah, and this decor on the mantle here is sort of, again, that preppy Ralph Lauren vibe with, this is supposed to kind of look like a trophy, a gentleman's room with different collection of things here on the mantle. But we love to spend time in this space, both during the day and at night and all throughout the holidays, kind of any time of year. But I think that with the fire going and when it starts to get cooler outside in Dallas, this is the perfect spot.
So the tree in here, and you might have seen the same thing in the dining room, have these kind of cool gold bases that, if I remember right, we got at Crate and Barrel to just give you a little bit of a, more touch to the tree instead of the, open feet on the bottom or your classic, maybe black step up on it. And we also used both in here and in all the rooms actually, kind of some fabric around the trees. And the ones in this room in particular is the same fabric that's on the 2 chairs next to the fireplace. So it was
we had some left over, so that's a good tip. If you have a leftover upholstery project, think of another use for that project, maybe to wrap your tree bases.
Yeah, didn't have to buy anything new for it, and covers the more functional part of the tree.
Yeah, see, I knew there was a reason I save all those fabric scraps. Holidays mean to me family. That's what it's all about. It means spending time with family, taking a pause, letting the world sort of slow down a little bit, and paying attention to the people that matter most, and spending time together. And sure, there's lots of gifts and celebration and decor and all these beautiful things that we like to celebrate. But the most important thing to me about a home are the people that are inside of it, my family. That's why Dan and I created our home. That's why we put a lot of emphasis and time in our home and money in our home, because it's the most important space for us, because that's where we spend time with each other and with our kids. And those are the moments to me that mean the most, especially at the holidays.
Yeah, I agree with Adam. I think it's a fun time. At the end of the year, things usually slow down a little bit in our work lives, and so you have a little bit more time because things get busy in the personal lives and the holiday celebrations and stuff. And so it's nice to do more of that together as a family. We're looking forward in a couple weeks. There's the tree lighting ceremony in Highland Park, which we really stumbled upon last year. And the kids didn't want to go. They were too old, too cool. They got there and we couldn't drag them away. And so it's just a fun little event. And so those kind of things, I love to get to do throughout. And, as Adam said, there's, gifts and the celebration of the food. And I think it's, my favorite part with the gifts is being able to get things for others in the family who are really excited and see the joy in their face when they get something they've been asking for, and that, time opening presents together and having that celebration.
Dan, you mentioned there, but it also reminds me that one of the great things about living here is we get to be part of traditions of the neighborhood and of the community, like the Highland Park tree lighting, like when they turn on the lights at Highland Park Village. Just being here in this beautiful setting with all of these houses that have been here a really long time, and neighbors who've created their own traditions, that when you move here and be part of the community, you get to join those traditions too. I think that's one of the things that we didn't know about Highland Park before we moved here that's been really exciting. All right. Thanks for coming by, Homeworthy.
We hope you had fun. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.